The old proverb, empty vessels make the most noise, is an ancient observation of the phenomena of echo and reverberation. When sound waves impinge on hard surfaces, they are reflected. Often we may hear the reflected waves or echoes a short time after we hear the original source of the sound, like this. Hello. Hello. Are you there, echo? The time lag between the original sound and the echo depends upon the distance between the sound source and the reflecting surface. Here is how speech sounds accompanied by echo from reflecting surfaces at various distances. 500 feet. You are now listening to speech accompanied by an echo from a reflecting surface 500 feet away. 200 feet. You are now listening to speech accompanied by an echo from a reflecting surface 200 feet away. 50 feet. You are now listening to speech accompanied by an echo from a reflecting surface 50 feet away. The echo sounds fainter than the source because the original sound energy is spread out and lost, traveling to and from the surface. It's quite possible for echoes to have echoes. Large auditoriums or halls, like empty barrels, often have more than one reflecting surface. Sounds may bounce from wall to wall, that is, reverberate, like this. Hello. 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 Hello, ladies and gentlemen. When echoes are numerous and overlapping, they may merge into a babble of noise, making normal speech difficult to understand. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am speaking in a hall that reverberates with many echoes. Biblical legends tell us that inside the famous Tower of Babel, even the words of learned men sounded like nonsense. This could have been a case of poor acoustical design. The tower was made of sun-baked bricks and tiles, which reflected sounds from one wall to another, setting up reverberations that scrambled speech until it was unintelligible. The tower sounds like this. The tower sounds like this. Reverberation is responsible for the slowness with which sound fades away. It may be controlled by carefully selecting wall materials and coverings to absorb the sound energy. The time it takes a sound to diminish 60 decibels, or 1/1,000,000th of its original intensity, is called reverberation time. We use reverberation time as a measure of the acoustic characteristics of a hall. Listen. I am now speaking in a room that has a reverberation time of several seconds. Rooms which have a reverberation time of several seconds or more may be suitable for some forms of music, but generally they are undesirable for speech. Reverberations fade away more rapidly in small rooms because it takes less time for the sounds to bounce back and forth between the walls and be absorbed. I am now speaking to you in a room which has a reverberation time of only a few tenths of a second. Rooms which are moderately reverberant, that is, having reverberation times of about 1 second for a small auditorium and about 2 seconds for a large auditorium, are usually pleasant for both speakers and listeners. I am now speaking in an auditorium that has a reverberation time of about 1 second. This auditorium has been specially designed to give satisfactory acoustics no matter where the listener is sitting. As you can hear, speakers rely on some reverberation to give resonance and sustenance to their voices. If you've ever sung in a bathtub, you will understand how reverberation may make a voice sound better than it really is. When speech or music is transmitted along communication lines, sometimes the various frequencies may not travel with equal velocities. They arrive at the receiving end with a type of distortion known as delay distortion. This sounds similar to the following demonstration in which frequencies above 3,000 cycles are delayed 1/10 of a second behind frequencies lower than 3,000 cycles. The upper frequencies of this speech are arriving 1/10 of a second later than the lower frequencies. That much delay distortion rarely occurs. Here is how a delay of 7/100ths of a second sounds. The upper frequencies of this speech are arriving 7/100ths of a second later than the lower frequencies. Now listen to the effect of a delay of 35,000ths of a second. The upper frequencies of this speech are arriving 35 thousandths of a second later than the lower frequencies. In transmitting music, the distortion that results from small delays or phase shift is usually not noticeable. This is because the various sounds are sustained longer in music than in speech. Listen as we delay the upper frequencies of music 7/100ths of a second. On the other hand, longer delays are quite noticeable in music. They give an echo effect. Listen as we play the same selection so that frequencies above 3,000 cycles are delayed 3/10ths of a second. That was the sound of a tuning fork. It is practically a pure tone. That is, the vibrations are of only one frequency, and they have a smooth, regular waveform. Sounds from other sources, such as musical instruments, the human voice, or noises, have waveforms that are less smooth and more complicated. For instance, if we pluck a stretched string, it will vibrate not only as a whole, but also at the same time in parts, in segments that are a half, a third, a fourth, and so on of the whole string. These segments vibrate at 2, 3, 4, and so on times the frequency of the entire string. Listen. The lowest frequency present in a complex sound is called the fundamental. Frequencies higher than the fundamental are called overtone frequencies. The frequencies of a musical sound are simple multiples of the fundamental and are called harmonics. For instance, the fundamental frequency of the musical tone you just heard was 200 cycles per second. The first overtone, sometimes called the second harmonic, was 400 cycles per second. The second overtone, or third harmonic, was 600. The third overtone, or fourth harmonic, was 800 cycles per second. And so on at intervals of 200 cycles per second. Some sounds have 30 or 40 overtones in the audible frequency range of the human ear. For many sounds, the pitch of the entire tone is the same as that of the fundamental, but the overtones add distinctive qualities. Listen as we play a fundamental tone and then add its overtones one by one. Did you notice? A fundamental with only a few overtones sounds empty and uninteresting. A fundamental with many overtones sounds full and rich. It's the relative number, pitch, and intensity of a sound's overtones which determine its quality. All sounds have characteristic qualities which your ear learns to recognize. Listen. We're sure you had no difficulty distinguishing these sounds: a factory whistle, a soprano, and a piano, even though they all have the same pitch and intensity. That's because the distinguishing characteristics of a sound, by which we recognize an instrument or a voice, is due largely to the proportions of the overtones in the sound, as well as its pitch and intensity. Listen as we play the same sounds, only this time we will filter out the overtones and allow only the fundamental notes to reach your ears. The slight difference in the sounds is due to their dynamic characteristics, such as attack and decay, and vibrato, but the tonal qualities are almost indistinguishable. Listen again. Now we'll allow you to hear the fundamental and the first overtone. We will filter out all the other overtones. Notice just the beginnings of a difference in tonal quality. Now we'll allow the fundamental and first 4 overtones to reach your ear. Listen how the overtones help distinguish a sound. If we cut out all filters, permitting all overtones to be heard, the sounds will again sound normal and distinctive. If for any reason your ears are prevented from vibrating throughout the entire normal range of frequencies, either because they have some physical defect or because the phonograph equipment is of low fidelity, sound quality will be quite different from normal. Listen to the orchestra as it might have sounded on an early phonograph record. By means of filters, we eliminated high and low frequencies and allowed only those frequencies between about 375 and 2,000 cycles per second to be heard. Now listen to the improved tonal quality when all frequencies reach your ear. If we cut out only the low frequencies, all those below 375 cycles per second, the music sounds like this. Now we'll cut out all frequencies below 2,000 and let only the higher frequencies get through to your ears. If we eliminate high frequencies, all those above 4,000, and let only the lower frequencies through, the music sounds like this. Now let's cut out some more high frequencies. All those above 2,000 cycles are prevented from reaching your ears. Here again is how the orchestra sounds with the full range of frequencies. Speech, too, sounds different if some of the frequencies are prevented from reaching the ear. My voice is now coming through with a normal range of frequencies. Now my voice sounds as it does because we have filtered out all frequencies below 375 cycles per second. Only those frequencies above 375 cycles per second are reaching your ear. If we allow only those frequencies above 2,000 cycles per second to reach your ear, my voice sounds like this. If we allow only those frequencies above 2,000 cycles per second to reach your ear, my voice sounds like this. You are being prevented from hearing frequencies below 2,000 cycles per second. And here's how my voice sounds with all frequencies above 2,000 cycles eliminated from it. You are now hearing only those frequencies below 2,000 cycles per second. Now we have filtered out all frequencies above 375 cycles per second. Here's how my voice sounds if we eliminate both very high and very low frequencies. If we allow only those frequencies between 375 and 2,000 cycles to be heard, my voice will sound like this. As you can hear, there is quite a difference in the quality of the filtered voice and the normal voice that you are now hearing.